There are many people in the world today who do not know who Jesus is. That really, as sad as it is, still should come as no absolute shock to us, because there were people in the days of Jesus, when he was living and walking on the face of the earth, who didn't even know who he was then. In John chapter 8, Jesus is involved in a discussion with some of his enemies. And in verse 25, after several back and forths between Jesus and the Pharisees and his enemies of the Jews, they say to him, "Who are you?" The ultimate question, of course, that could be asked by anyone about the Son of God, "Who are you?" Then Jesus said to them, "Even the same, or just as I have said from the beginning." Jesus is saying that I haven't hidden anything from you. I haven't changed anything I've said about myself. I haven't taken an opinion poll and decided to become the preconceived notion or idea that you think I am. I've told you who I am from the very beginning. I've told you numerous times, and I haven't changed any of that. And yet the question still is, who are you, by these people who were inquiring this of Jesus? He then goes on to say, the Lord goes on to say, "I have many things to say and to judge concerning you. But he who sent me is true, and I speak to the world those things which I have heard of him." And then the next verse really tells us why these people had no idea who Jesus was. They understood not. They did not understand that he was speaking to them of the Father. You see, the reason they didn't know who Jesus was is because they didn't know who the Father was. They thought they knew who God was. They thought they knew who the ultimate creator was. But Jesus says, and the conclusion that is arrived at based on this conversation, they didn't know who he was. And here's the idea that if you don't know who God the Father is, you're not going to understand anything about his word. And if you don't understand anything about his word, you're not going to understand ultimately anything about who the fulfillment of that word is, Jesus the Christ. That's why they had no idea who he was. That's why they asked, "Who are you?" Let's know who God the Father is. Let's know what his word says. And ultimately, let's know who Jesus the Savior really is.